I don't know what it is. Like, I think I've said this before. Look at me leaning in like I'm just getting like personal with you guys now. And I'm not. I just don't know if it's the fact that he really liked her in the beginning of the season and like wanted to have a girlfriend, but then as time went on he realized it's summertime and maybe he just wanted to have some fun but also have Lexi on the back burner. I don't know, did he just want to have sex with her? I have no clue. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Bravo by Gays. It's me, Larry. Happy Friday. I hope you guys had an amazing week. We have so much to talk about. Like, what a good middle of the week surprise we got from Bravo. I mean, we had some good shows on this week. We have so much to talk about in regards to the shows that Bravo announced that are coming out. We are going to recap the latest episode of Summer House, which I cannot wait to talk about. We just gotta get into it. Before we recap Summer House, though, I want to talk about the news that Bravo dropped to us on Wednesday afternoon. So let's get into it. All right, guys. Bravo had teased on Wednesday, like in the middle of the day on Twitter, should we be chaotic and announce 4 new shows that are coming? And the internet went crazy. Like, I saw that and I was like, oh my God, we are in for a treat. Like, this is going to be so freaking good. So many people were like speculating what they thought the shows were going to be. Obviously, there were rumors swirling about like different things that production companies are filming that they think might be picked up by the network. But not long after they put that tweet out, did they announce the 4 new series that we are getting. We are getting The Real Housewives of Rhode Island. We are getting Ladies of London back, a full reboot of Ladies of London. We are getting, it's a working title, but we are getting The Valley Persian style. And we are getting Wife Swap, The Real Housewives edition. Now, I am so excited for 4 new shows to be brought to the network. I feel like a lot of people have been like wanting something new to come, and Bravos, they like fed us on Wednesday. They served us a full buffet and it was absolutely amazing. Now, they had put out a description of each show and like what it is going to be. Now, they did this ahead of the upfronts, which is going to be on Monday the 12th, which is where they kind of like bring all of like their new programming to like different like advertisers to try and get like advertising money for like the upcoming like fall season and whatnot. I think that's what the upfronts are. I'm 99.9% sure that that is exactly what the upfronts are. So every year they announce like their new shows and whatnot. So we got this a few days earlier. Now, The Real Housewives of Rhode Island, they say, is set against the shores of the Ocean State. The Real Housewives franchise expands into the world of a tight-knit circle of Rhode Islanders who have deep community roots and families that go back generations. With aspirational lives, thriving businesses, and tangled family dynamics, these decade-long friendships prove that in a state this small, there is no escaping your past or each other. I'm sold. Sign me up. That sounds absolutely amazing. Now, I will say when I first heard about The Real Housewives of Rhode Island, it didn't really like hit me like a city or like a state that like we would actually see like a Real Housewives franchise in. But I was skeptical with Salt Lake City because I really didn't think Salt Lake City would be that good, and it's fucking amazing. And a lot of people didn't know what to expect with Potomac, and that's another really good one. So I'm not going to judge it just yet because I want to wait and see what is going on. That description makes it sound like it's going to be phenomenal. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, you can't escape your past or each other? Sign me up. And so many people are excited about it, and there are already rumors of who is going to be on the cast. That is already swirling all over the internet. I've already gotten DMs about some of the ladies that are like rumored to be on the cast, which is absolutely insane. Now, I don't feed into all of that stuff or like repost any type of like shit talking that people send me about someone. So I'm going to keep that to myself, keep an eye out on other maybe pages that will share some more information about the potential ladies joining the cast. But I will say they are all stunning. They all look like they are relatively younger, like they skew on the younger side of like the age scale that we may be typically more used to when it comes to Housewives. I cannot wait. Now, it is going to be refreshing to get a new franchise. Obviously, we don't know what's going on with the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So to get a new franchise in the mix will kind of hopefully make up for like the absence we feel with like another franchise. And we also don't know what's going on with New York. They aren't filming yet either. So who's to say what's going on there? But I am so excited. Now, my prediction with the Real Housewives of Rhode Island is we probably won't hear much about it unless they are like seen filming. I'm sure Rhode Island, it seems like it's very small. I'm sure people will catch them filming while they are like out and about throughout the state. I don't even know like how big is Rhode Island? Like, I don't even know what to expect. Like, the fact that it's the Real Housewives of Rhode Island and not a specific city in Rhode Island seems like it could be similar to the Real Housewives of New Jersey, where it is such a small state that the ladies can be from different parts within the state and not focus just on one small area. But my prediction with the Real Housewives of Rhode Island is that we will potentially meet the cast at BravoCon in November, which should be a good surprise. So I'm excited for that. I cannot wait. I mean, I'm excited for BravoCon in general, but the fact that like now we have this stuff to look forward to, I can't wait to see what else is like going to come up with the ladies of Rhode Island. I'm just excited about it. Now, we are getting an iconic reboot of the Ladies of London. Now, if you guys did not watch Ladies of London, I am sorry. You can go back and watch the original series. It's streaming on Peacock. Ladies of London was it. That is where we met Caroline Stanbury, who later then moved on to be on The Real Housewives of Dubai. Now, I just have a feeling it's going to be so good. All new women, so we won't see any of the old women of the old cast. Not that they're old women. We won't see any of the old cast on the new Ladies of London. The description for Ladies of London is that Ladies of London is back with a new wave of British blue bloods, ambitious American expats, and glamorous international socialites. As tradition clashes with the fast-paced globalized world, these power players redefine what it means to be a woman of status in one of the most iconic cities in the world. Here, connections are currency, and the crown isn't the only thing up for grabs. Who is the wordsmith that wrote these descriptions? Because it's so freaking good. I cannot wait for Ladies of London. Obviously, like if you watched the original series, there was a lot of like clashing between the Americans and like the Brits, just like how they acted in like social settings and whatnot. So I'm excited to see what ladies they bring to the new series. I haven't seen any rumblings yet. Now, this is going to be completely different from the Hey You series that they are doing, which is going to be The Real Housewives of London. That is going to air on Hey You. Ladies of London is getting a full reboot and will be coming to Bravo. And I wonder if any of the previous cast members from Ladies of London will make an appearance on the new show. Who's to say? Now, there aren't any expected air dates for these. These were just announced, so I'm sure like filming is either in the process of going on or is going to pick up soon. I don't know. You can keep an eye out over on my Instagram, and as I find out more, I will let you guys know as well. Now, what I am so excited for is the next show that was announced, which is The Valley Persian Style, which is a working title again, guys, which means it may not be called The Valley Persian Style, But we are getting back from Shahs of Sunset, Gigi, MJ, and Reza. Now, I started this podcast a couple years ago, and I started it after Shahs of Sunset was already off the air. I was obsessed with Shahs of Sunset. I loved everything about it. Now, if you guys were ever on Clubhouse, like back during the pandemic, Shahs of Sunset had their final season during like the pandemic year, and I would host like recaps like every week after the show had aired. I would go right into Clubhouse and we would talk about the episodes. I'm so excited for this. Now, we know that they have been like kind of hinting at them coming back for a while as far as like Gigi, MJ, and Reza, because they've been very vocal about them like working on a project, and they've been trying to kind of get back into the reality TV ring for quite some time. So I am glad that the three of them are coming back. Now, the description for the Valley Persian style is: Reza, Gigi, and MJ share an unbreakable bond, one built on years of friendship, fiery clashes, and the kind of history that never fades. They also share a deep connection to their Persian culture, something that runs just as strong in the group of friends they now call family. As they take on the next stage of life in the Valley, their world is bigger, their circle is bolder, and their challenges are more real than ever. As we'll see, their next chapter in life isn't quieter, it's just more complicated. Guys, it's going to be so good. I am looking forward to having them back on our screens. Now, it's only the three of them that are returning from Shahs of Sunset. Obviously, as we know, Shahs of Sunset was put on pause, canceled, whatnot after their pandemic season. In my opinion, I think it had something to do with all of the allegations that were going on with Mike and like his ex-fiance. I don't know. That's like all alleged, but by he I mean Mike, did post something on Instagram after the announcements came out stating that like you never know what's going to happen, like he may return. It was just weird. And when these shows get announced, it is so funny to see like old cast members kind of like hint at a potential of them being on the new show. It just felt a little weird to me. He did post something on Instagram that said, "I'm building a life where I'm the creator, author, and narrator, producer, editor, and starring role. It was an epic 9-year run on millions and millions of TV screens. We created magic. Congrats to my fellow castmates who became like family on the new show. Excited to watch just like the rest of you. Also, never say never." And he put like an emoji of like a winky face, a money bag, and like the emoji who has like his arms like this, with the hashtag OG Shah. Mike, you're not going to be on the new series. Like, I can't even. I just don't think it's going to happen. His name has been in the news way too much for not favorable things. Like, let's just like call it as it is. Like, he's been in the news for a lot of like DV, and that is just not anything I think that the production company or the network would maybe want to associate themselves with. So I can't really picture him popping up on screen. I mean, could I be wrong? Absolutely. That's just my opinion. I don't see it happening. But I am so excited for MJ, Gigi, and Reza to come back on our screen. I love me some Mercedes. I love her so much. And Reza is just such like a character. He's so funny. I got the chance to meet him at BravoCon, and he is just how he is in person in the show. Like he's just is the same. Like he's the same on the show as he is in person. And I think they deserve it. Listen, they gave us 9 amazing seasons where they really put it all out there. And if anyone deserves to come back, it definitely is the three of them. So from the Valley Persian style, we are then getting Wife Swap, the Real Housewives edition. Now, it's the description for this is when a Real Housewife takes off her stilettos and steps into a Real Housewife's shoes, all bets are off as two of entertainment's most iconic franchises are mashed up, leading to laugh out loud moments, personal epiphanies, and an opportunity to see if the grass is truly greener. What they're going to do here is take housewives from different franchises and swap them. Like their show, like that show, it's literally in the title, like Wife Swap. So say, for instance, they take an Lisa Barlow and they put her in with, I'm trying to think of like another married housewife right now. Say they take Lisa Barlow and they swap her with, I don't know, Angela Oakley. You know, like, just I'm trying to think like, or like if you go to New York, like Lisa Barlow could swap with Psy, or like Mary Cosby could swap with Aaron Leachy. I'm just trying to think because like I'm going through Beverly Hills Housewives and none of them are married. I'm going through Miami and I think the only one is like Julia who's married, and I think obviously Lisa has a boyfriend. Regardless, there are, and hopefully maybe they'll bring in some like old, like some like previous housewives, people who are not currently on the show, because that could be freaking epic. Are you kidding me? Like imagine seeing like, I don't even know, guys. It is so hard to think of these like off the top of my head because some of them like aren't even married anymore and so many of them are single. But like think about taking like Lisa Vanderpump and putting her in the shoes of I don't know, like Larsa Pippen. Like it's just so insane. Like it has the opportunity to be complete chaos because at like in this Housewives universe, there are women who are so rich and then there are women who act rich. So like imagine taking Lisa Vanderpump and putting her in Karen Huger's house. And Karen goes over to Villa Rosa. Like the opportunities are endless. I saw someone say, and I believe it was Christian Grey Snow, like imagine someone goes to Australia and like has to swap and live with like Simon and Alex. Like it's just like the opportunities like are, again, they are limitless. They have the potential to be so good. I truly cannot wait. I am so excited for all 4 shows. I asked you guys what you're most excited for, and a lot of you guys did say Ladies of London and Wife Swap. There were a few of you who jumped in and said Real Housewives of Rhode Island as well. So, I mean, we are just like they're stacking us with shows. Now, could there be more to come? I'm sure. I feel like this was just like a tease as to like what Bravo wanted to give us prior to the upfronts, but on top of all of those new shows that are coming out that we had just listed, Bravo did order season renewals for a ton of other shows. So Below Deck Med is coming back for season 10. Below Deck Down Under is coming back for season 4. Married to Medicine is coming back for season 12. Southern Charm is coming back for season 11. Southern Hospitality, thank you, Lord, is coming back for season 4. The Real Housewives of Orange County is coming back for season 19. Real Housewives of Potomac is coming back for season 10. And Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is coming back for season 6. Now, there was no mention of 2 shows that really stood out to me, like, in a big way. There was no announcement for the return of Summer House season 10 or the return of Real Housewives of New York. Now, I will say this does state like the shows that I did list are shows that are currently in production, so they are currently filming. So that could be the reason why they didn't say New York or Summer House, because Summer House, it doesn't go into production until July. I guarantee you Summer House is coming back. It just wasn't listed in this article. But they also did acknowledge like premieres that are upcoming. And we are getting Below Deck is premiering on Monday, June 2nd at 8 p.m. The Real Housewives of Miami, which we are all excited for, is returning and premiering on Wednesday, June 11th at 9 p.m. King's Court, which is a new show that is coming out. It has Tyson Beckford in it. And that explains a lot as to why Tyson Beckford was in an Instagram photo with Shep, Schwartz, and TJ and Frasier. That show is premiering on King's Court. Where did that go? King's Court is premiering on July 13th at 9 p.m. We also know that Las Culturistas, that award show for the podcast that has Bowen Yang and Bowen Yang, and what is his name? Oh my God, what is? Guys, I cannot believe I am Matt Rogers. Why am I blanking on Matt Rogers? I love him. Their award show is going to air on Bravo as well, so that is going to be good. There really is just like so much that is coming. It is literally going to be insane. So they listed all of those shows that and like all of their premieres, and they had already stated that Vanderpump Rules season 12 is coming back with a whole new cast, so we have like that to look forward to. The entire article was so good, like learning about what Bravo has in store for us and like what we can expect to come back from shows that are already on the air. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am. It was literally such a whirlwind on Wednesday when they announced this that I was like so excited. I was like firing up all the group chats, like asking people what they were most excited for, and I didn't hear one negative thing. Actually, I lie. Let me take that back. The only negative thing that I heard was that people were really upset that we still don't have a Real Housewives of Chicago or a Real Housewives of Nashville. And I just don't think that that's coming just as of yet. I feel like they're going to go with places that people might find unexpected. Because remember when they came out with the Real Housewives of Potomac, none of us knew what Potomac was. Like, it is such a good franchise. So I think that's why they're doing it. They don't want to kind of give us what we're expecting. But hopefully you guys are excited. We're definitely going to talk about it more as we get more information on the show. So I can't wait. It really is like it was such a good day when they dropped that information. I really everybody was so excited, and there is no better feeling than when Bravo literally feeds us and then like everybody is just overjoyed and not like miserable, because some people can be so miserable about like announcements that come out and like if they don't get like a show or something that like they want, but overall everyone seemed to be happy. So hopefully you guys are as well, and just stay tuned because the upfronts are on Monday, so who knows what else we're going to hear. I'm sure we're going to be getting news about BravoCon coming up in the next couple of weeks because that's in November. It's just like, I love when we're over inundated with like information and like news and all of this stuff. So with that said, after going through all of those shows, let's recap Wednesday night's episode of Summer House. So let's head over to the Hamptons. All right, guys. Summer House on Wednesday. I mean, so good. Like, it really was so good. I am loving this season. We don't really have much more to go. If you listen to them carefully on this past episode, they said there's only 2 weekends left in the Hamptons. So I'm assuming that means 2 more episodes. 3 at most, but I'm thinking 2 more episodes and then the reunion. So it's coming to an end, and it's just like so depressing because I feel like with all of the talk surrounding Summer House, like this season is coming to an end, and I feel like it's going to be the end of an era for some of the current cast, and I just I'm not ready to let that go. I love them so much. I've literally watched the show since day one, and it just feels like some type of change is coming, and I'm just not ready to accept it yet, all right? I don't know if you are either. Hopefully you're on the same page as me. Am I ready for some change? Yes, but I don't like change. I'm not. It's something that it does not, I don't do well with. So we'll see what happens. But this episode I thought was so good. We're just going to get right into it. I love Lindsay and Paige being on the same page and like having this like newfound friendship that like they currently have. And I just think the two of them together are such like a power duo. They could literally take over the world. So the fact that they drove to the Hamptons together, I was like living for. Like, I love this so much. Like, it is, everyone knows, like, Paige is my girl. I love Paige. I love Amanda. I love Sierra, Lindsay Hubbard. I love her. I mean, I like literally, don't get me wrong. Like, don't get me wrong. Were there points in times where she wasn't my favorite? Of course. But over the past couple seasons, I've really grown to love her and really just kind of understand like how she is the way she is. Now, don't get it twisted. Just because she wasn't my favorite did not mean that I didn't appreciate her for the show, because I've always said that she is amazing reality television. I mean, I don't know. It just is what it is. But all that aside, that's my girl. Okay. I love Lindsay too. So I love that the two of them drove into the Hamptons together. Now, they arrive first into the Hamptons, and they are sitting on the couch. They're asking each other if either one of them had talked to Jesse or Lexi. And as they are talking about this, Jesse and Lexi arrive together, like literally shocking Paige and Lindsay. And it's all because of the way that everything kind of went down the week prior. Like, it was so crazy to like watch Lexi kind of like pop off on him in the kitchen, and then like all of a sudden, like now they're walking into the house, everything is okay, hunky-dory, and like that was it. It was crazy. It really was. Now, I love how these girls like don't waste any time. They just get right into it and want to ask questions, because Lexi tells the girls that they had hours worth of conversation about their situation, which I think is absolutely insane. Now, it's only, I mean, listen, has it even been a month? I don't even think it's been a month. And they're sitting down having hours worth of conversations about their relationship. It just literally sounds so insane. I don't know. It really is. It really just, you guys have only known each other for a couple of weeks. And the fact that you have to work this hard at trying to like keep this going just really does, it just sounds crazy to me. And it should be like fun and like light and like all of this stuff. Now, who's to say? Maybe it was, and maybe a lot of it was just played up for the show. I don't know. I don't think a lot of it was played up for the show, the way that Lexi has been like talking in interviews. So I don't know. It was a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Lexi. I think that she is great for the show. She's fun. She has like a light energy about her. I can see her coming back to the summer house. I don't know if it's such a good idea if both Lexi and Jesse come back to the summer house, because do we want to like have another season of watching another couple or like exes like go through and try and live with each other another season? Like, it's so redundant. I don't think that people want to see that. I feel like if she comes back, maybe he should not, or if he comes back, maybe she should not. I want Summer House to go back to like partying in the Hamptons, hooking up, and arguing about stupid shit. Like, we've been talking about Jesse and Lexi all summer long. And I'm just like, even like Sierra said at the end of the episode, I'm over it. Like, there's just like so many other things I want them to do. I don't know. It's a lot, but we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Emerald's gone. I don't know what happened to him. Well, he wasn't in this episode either. Is he done for the rest of the season? I don't know. Like, it's just so crazy. It is so crazy. Guys, one of the best parts of this episode is that the door is finally fixed. It took them all summer, but the door is fixed. I love that the door was its own character this summer. So as Amanda and Kyle are coming into the house, we see that is going on. Now, the whole cast is sitting on the couch and they're talking about the Lexi and Jesse like situation. And they ask Jesse what his takeaway was from their talks that they had, like about what was going on with them. Jesse says he learned that that his communication was poor. And again, guys, it is all just so crazy for how new this situation is. Now, what I will say is that in the midst of them asking Jesse like what his takeaway was, Sierra did pop in, and I love Sierra so much. She popped in and was like, so you're not two-faced? Like, so you're not a liar? Like, questioning him, like, because he didn't really, like, give a really good answer to what his takeaway was. He just said he had poor communication skills. So she was essentially being like, so you're not going to acknowledge that you're a two-faced? You're not going to acknowledge that you're a liar? And one thing about Sierra is she's going to call your ass out. And I do love that Jesse was just like, oh, like, here we go. But I love that he acknowledged it. And he was like, yeah, I can definitely improve. I think that he just didn't want to have to deal with any confrontation with Sierra because he just got over like having to deal with Lexi, which we're going to get into a little bit more as the episode goes on, because it truly was wild what he like admitted towards the end of the episode. But as this is all going on, we're still like having the cast sit on the couch talking about this Lexi and Jesse stuff. Kyle gets a call from his sperm doctor. We learn that Kyle has great fucking sperm. And good for you, sir. He is fertile. He said he can get someone pregnant by just sneezing on them. I'm sure Amanda isn't too happy about that because it doesn't seem like she is in this space right now where she wants to have kids just yet. But it'll happen for them when it happens. Guys, I literally see so many comments about Amanda and Kyle, like, and their marriage and how she should dump him and like all of this stuff. But I will say Tinks on Watch What Happens Live on Wednesday after the Summer House episode did say that like she's put up with this for so many years, and if she's been able to put up with it, like they are in it for the long haul. I feel like you guys should just stop shitting on the two of them. It's a little weird that you hear so much about their marriage when like if Amanda's okay with it, then like why do you care? If anything were to happen, I'm sure the world would rally around her, but it's a little like the comments I see are like very crazy. Very, very crazy. Now we have to talk about this next scene because this was absolutely crazy. So the boys are talking to Carl about his soft bar. Carl tells Jesse and Kyle that he is about to sign a lease that is $10,000 a month for the space, which is wild to me. That is absolutely insane. $10,000 a month for a lease for a business that he doesn't even know would be successful. I don't know. Like, are there not smaller spaces? That number is astronomical to me. Now, could he afford it? Probably. I'm not counting his wallet, so I don't know what kind of money he has, but he was also crowdfunding. So, I mean, I'm sure they're trying to raise money for so much to get this up and running. I don't know. It is a lot. I'm not a business person. It just sounds crazy. So Carl's telling them about this $10,000 a month lease. And Kyle brings up the fact that, like, he noticed that Lindsay kind of throws in some jabs to him about like everything that is going on. And funny enough, that got brought up to Lindsay's attention after last night's episode. And she had some things to say. So Carl had said that he thinks that she is embarrassed by what happened last season. And she's hurt, and like he just says all of these things, and Lindsay had some words to say about that. And she took to Instagram, and she did state, because someone had asked her on Instagram or had made a post saying, I hope that Lindsay addresses this situation at the reunion. Lindsay said on her Instagram that She did not see this scene until Wednesday night, so it will not be on the reunion. And then on the next slide, she said, "This man has me all wrong, but then again, this is the guy who said I was obsessed with him over the summer." She then listed out 3 bullet points in regards to this specific scene, and these are exactly what she said. The first bullet point was, "What are we, in middle school? Embarrassed is not the word here. This man, my best friend of 8 years, fiance, partner, blindsided me and publicly humiliated me on national television with less respect than you would have for your enemy. Why on earth would I need to go to his soft launch for his bar that wasn't even opening yet?" Which brings me to number 2, which is like, literally, she just had this ready. I'm like, I'm obsessed. She's activated. Number 2, I didn't attend said launch, not because I was quote unquote embarrassed, but good try. I didn't attend because why would I go 3 hours deep into New Jersey in the middle of rush hour traffic on a summer Thursday for a bar that at the time didn't even have a location locked in? And that you're talking about opening in Brooklyn, the complete opposite direction. Call me when it's actually launching, but I'm not going to waste 8 hours of my life to go celebrate him talking about potentially doing something at some point, maybe in the future. Call me when it's opening. And number 3, after watching this season back, I don't think I'm the one throwing jabs at this concept. Pretty sure a lot of people had a lot of opinions on this endeavor, and it wasn't me. Whew. I mean, she is a wordsmith. Like, I no lie detected there. So that was pretty interesting to see that she didn't see that until the episode aired. I would have loved to have seen her reaction to everything about it on the reunion, but we're just not going to. That was wild. That was absolutely crazy. She literally cut him with words, and everyone in the comments is like, no, not one crumb left behind. Like, she ate him up with that, and she did. Listen, she has a way with her words, and I appreciate it. Now, after that scene, we do see the group kind of separate into 2 separate dinner groups, and it's Jesse, Lindsay, Kyle, and Paige, and then it is Lexi, Sierra, Amanda, West, and Carl. Now, there were 2 very different things going on at both dinners. At one dinner, we have Jesse, who is asking for advice on how to handle the Sierra situation, and then at another dinner, we have West, who is really opening up about what is going on in at that point in time in his life. On that specific day, we learned that it was a year since the passing of one of his best friends from college, which was so sad. Now, he did open up about the passing of his friend and how it happened that last summer, and it happened on the night of Danielle's launch party for her company, and that afterwards, he went to Sierra's and cried for hours, on the edge of her bed. And I think that is something that triggered Sierra, because in the midst of him talking about what was going on, with his feelings regarding the anniversary of his friend's passing, I think that triggered Sierra to get up and leave the table, because it really reminded her that she once did have such a solid relationship with West, and now they're in a spot where she doesn't even want to talk to him or acknowledge his existence. But I'm hoping that there is a path forward for the 2 of them. Listen, if you watch What Happens Live 2 weeks ago, I literally started the episode. Sierra was on the episode, and I was like, listen, I know the reunion just filmed. I'm just going to tweet out a quick question to Sierra. You know how Andy does those, get your questions in now for Sierra and so. We're going to be on Watch What Happens Live tonight. Show started at 10. I think it was 10:05. I sent out a quick tweet saying, Sierra, since the reunion filmed, or after filming the reunion, do you think that there's a path forward for you and West? Well, unbeknownst to me, Andy asked it in the last 5 minutes of the show. I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, they literally went through the tweets and picked it and asked the question. she did say, like, yeah, there is a path forward. Like, are we ever going to be, like, super close? No. But I like knowing that the fact that, like, there's some type of opening in there for them to at least be civil and have a good time during, like, future seasons of filming. I feel like that is all people want. I don't know. Because don't get me wrong, I am still on Team Sierra all day, every day. I have not watched this season once and been like, oh, West, like, just like does it for me. And I was like Wes Wilson's #1 fan last season. This year, I'm like, every episode, I'm like, he's slowly like getting me back. But I definitely rode hard for Sierra after everything that went down going into this season. So she comes back to the table and they finish up the conversation about West, who literally, like, I loved that he showed like some vulnerability in that moment with his castmates. It really did show like a different side to him. They all gave him a hug, except for Amanda and Sierra. Now, did they, after cameras went down? I don't know, maybe, but on the screen, we didn't see that. I love Amanda's comment where she was like, my hugs cost money. That was actually hilarious. That was so funny. Now, I will say, after the dinners, whatnot, the next day we go and the cast is having a pool party. It's just, or not a pool party, it's just like a pool day. And the guys are talking, and it's the guys and Paige. And Jesse is saying that Lexi sent him like lists of why he's the worst and like all of this stuff. And like during this week of conversations that they had, which is so insane. She had sent him lists like saying like why he's the worst. And like one day she just called him and said like, so are we getting back together? And he was like, what are you talking about? You just sent me all this like information about what's wrong with me. Now you're asking me like, are we getting back together? I didn't even know that was on the table. So he then says after that after they work through what they needed to work through, Lexi's mom and sister, who we all know at this point, we all know them by now. They might as well just be paid to be like friends of the cast. They're talked about so much. They're on the show. They're on Watch What Happens Live. I mean, I love that they're so close. But after Jesse had to go through all of those conversations with Lexi, he then says that he had like 3 hours worth of conversations about this situation with Lexi's sister and mom, which is fucking crazy if you ask me. Like, again, I think it's just sounds so crazy because they are so fresh in this relationship that they should not be having this type of issue. And if the fact that they are, and they haven't acknowledged the fact that they should just fucking stop talking to each other because it's not going to work, blows my mind. Now, obviously we know in this moment, today, May 2025, they are not together. But the fact that this is in July, maybe beginning of August at this point, is insane. That he had to sit down for 3 hours with her family and talk about this. That's wild. That's wild to me. And it's not even like, I don't know. I'm not even going to say anything else. I just think it's crazy. But I digress. I'm like, what are you even like? Even the people in the house agreed that it was a little insane. They shouldn't be having this many issues so early on. I don't know what it is. Like, I think I've said this before. I'm looking at me leaning in like I'm just getting like personal with you guys now. And I'm not. I just don't know if it's the fact that he really liked her in the beginning of the season and like wanted to have a girlfriend, but then as time went on, he realized it's summertime and maybe he just wanted to have some fun, but also have Lexi on the back burner. I don't know. Did he just want to have sex with her? I have no clue, but I feel like we're all being forced along this journey that none of us want to be on. What? Like, we could have ended the Lexi and Jesse storyline 2 weeks in. They went from 0 to 100 real quick. Real fucking quick. Did you guys know that Lexi dated Drake, apparently? That was brought up on Watch What Happens Live. That is insane too. Now I know she has like a roster of like very high profile celebrity exes. Like she dated Brooklyn Beckham. She dated Cindy Crawford's son. I don't know his name. But then when Andy brought up Drake, I almost fell off the couch. She didn't acknowledge it, or she just said like, I'm going to take a sip and pass on that question. I had no idea. But it just makes me think like, how did those relationships go? Did they have to sit down with her mom and sister and talk about their issues for 3 hours? Like, I don't know. I just think it's a little crazy that her mom and her sister got brought into the middle of this. Maybe it would be different if she just expressed her feelings to them. I don't know. I can't talk about it anymore. I'm just spiraling the drain at this point. Like it's not making any sense to me, but it is what it is. Now, I will say at the end of this episode, they did have a very nice beach day where Gabby and Lexi hosted the cast on the beach. They had a chef come out. The food looked amazing. I was like, what the hell? Like, I want to eat like that on the beach. Listen, it is my lifelong mission to end up at a summer house party. I don't know who I got to talk to, who I have to message, DM. I need to make that happen this summer. I'm putting it out into existence. I need to go to the Hamptons. Like, that is like a bucket list experience. There are a few bucket list experiences that I've wanted to do. I've gotten to do a couple of them. I got to go to the clubhouse. I got to host a live show with Sonia Morgan. BravoCon was on there. Like, I need to go to a party in the Hamptons at the summer house. Now, the food just looked amazing. Like, the girls did a really good job of putting this like beach day together. Now, at the end of the episode, we did get to see Jesse pull Sierra aside because he wanted to apologize to her about everything. Now, again, throughout the episode, he was really talking to Paige and Amanda, and even Kyle, just looking for advice on how to handle Lexi, how to handle Sierra and how to handle an apology with her. So he did pull her aside at the end of the episode, and he did say that he's very sorry for saying that if he only had arrived the same day or sooner than West, that he would have had a shot with her. Now, Sierra, which is really weird that is the way that the apology went, because I did not think that was what was going on. I thought the apology was going to be more so for kind of making her feel uncomfortable with what is going on between him and Lexi, and then him kind of brushing off Sierra, when she touched his arm and he was like, Sierra, not here. I thought the apology was going to be more based off of the way that he's making Sierra feel in that situation. Not the fact that he said that he would have dated Sierra before Wes if he would have gotten there sooner. If I'm missing something, let me know, because that is what the apology sounded like to me. I mean, she did say that she doesn't need him to feel bad for her, and that what's done is done, and has just made her question everything. Sierra says that he should have sent her a text saying that the relationship between her and Jesse makes Lexi uncomfortable, and then that could have been a time for them to take some distance and some space apart from each other to kind of figure out how everything could play out. But that's not what happened, and he did acknowledge the fact that he should have done that, but he didn't. What she did say though at the end was listen, I know you're apologizing. This is not word for word what she said, but in my mind, she's like, listen, I know you're apologizing for everything. But she said, at this point, I'm just over you and her. And I feel like she was speaking for a lot of people, because I feel like a lot of people in the house are over the Jesse and Lexi situation. I mean, how many times we could have played a drinking game on this episode, but how many times we've talked about Jesse and Lexi? And what do they say at the end of Watch What Happens Live? If you've been playing our drinking game, don't drink and drive. Go back and listen and take a sip for every time we talked about how we're over Jesse and Lexi. But I love the way that Sierra handled it. She really just says that, and she's made it known that, she doesn't have room to give people, second chances. Which is, a little different in this situation. I think she was more so saying that towards Wes because they were in like a romantic relationship. We all know that at this point in time, like, her and Jesse are actually like really good friends. They've been photographed at the festivals together. They hang out. Like, Jesse and Sierra are good now. I'm sure it did take them some time to like work on their friendship. Jesse does seem like the type of person that is a good friend. So I'm sure he did take the steps to kind of making it right with Sierra. And I bet you that all happened after he broke up with Lexi, after they stopped dating. Who's to say? That's just my opinion. I don't know. But they are in a better space now. But from what we're watching at this point in time, she's over him. She's over her. And she just doesn't seem to want anything to do with him. I am interested to see if this apology carries into next week's episode, which looks like another banger. I mean, are you kidding me? We get Lindsay Hubbard kind of popping off about Carl next episode, because she talks about how it's the anniversary of when he destroyed her life or all that stuff. It's going to be freaking amazing. So we're going to highlight and talk about that next week. I mean, again, we only have a couple more episodes before the season is over, and then we get the reunion. I'm looking forward to the season finale. I want to see how they address the Craig and Paige breakup and see how much time they give us about the girls talking about that. Guys, that was a lot. We covered a lot today, from all of the shows that are coming to Bravo to talking about everything chaotic that happened in the Hamptons on Wednesday. I'm beat. Listen, make sure that you are rating, reviewing, subscribing to the podcast. If you have friends that like Bravo, send them a link and have them come and join the party, listen, comment, do all the things. And hopefully more stuff happens in the next week so we can gossip and chit chat about some good shit next week. But I hope you guys have a great weekend and week to come. And I will see you next week. Love ya. Bye.